Serving great steak. Now let's see how to prep and serve a great steak every time. To help deliver great steak, we've developed the Magnificent 7. 7 steps to make sure the steak that leaves your kitchen is perfect every time and gives your customers a great steak experience every time they dine with us. Quality. Checking the quality of the frozen steak on delivery is absolutely essential to starting the process. Key checks that need to be made before you accept the product are: use-by date. The steak received has a suitably long shelf life on it. Integrity of packaging. Is the packaging sealed and undamaged? Temperature. The steak is delivered to you frozen at a temperature of -12 Celsius or below. Visual quality check. Does the steak look in a visibly good condition? Quantity. Ensure the invoice quantity matches the delivery quantity. When storing the steaks in the container, make sure that they're stored in a book leaf style to avoid putting excess pressure on the steaks at the bottom, which will affect the quality of the product. It must also be day dotted as per our company policy. Defrost. Once removed from the freezer, the steak should be left for a minimum of 36 and a maximum of 48 hours to defrost in its original packaging and in a non-drip tray on the bottom shelf of the fridge. Prep for service. Once the steak has defrosted, it needs to be removed from its packaging in the raw meat prep area and stored in a suitable covered non-drip container or tray on the bottom shelf of the fridge. When removing the steak from the packaging, please check the quality of the product against the company standard. If there are any issues with the steak, then contact Bidvest Customer Services immediately and red card the product. Most importantly, do not use it. As per the defrost process, make sure the steaks are again stored in a book leaf style to avoid putting excess pressure on the steaks at the bottom, which will affect the quality of the product. At this stage, a new day dot with the same day as the defrost label needs to be applied. Ready to cook. When a ticket is received in the kitchen, remove the required steak from the fridge using red tongs and allow it to breathe on a clean and suitable raw meat tray. Breathing is also referred to as blooming when resting a steak. If the customer has ordered a starter, then remove the steak from the fridge as soon as the ticket arrives in the kitchen to allow the steak maximum breathing time before commencing the cooking process. If the customer has not ordered starters, then remove the steak from the fridge and allow a minimum of 2 to 3 minutes breathing time before commencing cooking. However, please keep in mind our service delivery targets. The cook. Once the steak has had a chance to breathe, we now need to prep it for cooking. Firstly, spray the steak with rapeseed oil on both sides and season with the pre-mixed meaty seasoning. We're now ready to cook. Using your red tongs, place the steak on the griddle at a 45-degree angle to the ridges, with the fat towards the back, which allows the steak to use the fat to self-baste while cooking. Once marked, turn the steak another 45 degrees on the same side, using your red tongs. Next, still using your red tongs, flip the steak over, retaining the 45-degree angle to the ridges until it's marked on the other side. Finally, using your cooked meat tongs, turn the steak 45 degrees until cooked as required. Cooking times will vary to your customer's requirements, so please refer to Steakmaster for average timings. Resting. Once cooked as required, the steak needs to rest before being plated. This is the biggest impact on taste and quality. Given the time to rest, the steak will lose less juice when the customer cuts into it, and will be a juicier and tastier eat as the flavors will be evenly distributed. A well-rested steak will also not leak juices onto the plate. To rest it, place the cooked steak onto a wired rack with a tray underneath on your pass for at least 2 minutes. Plating. If the steak has been ordered with the barbecue honey rub, then apply this rub before plating. Place the steak on the plate, with the fat towards the middle of the plate. Then add the chips, tomato, Paris brown mushrooms and watercress onto the plate as per our spec, and your steak is ready to leave the kitchen. When the plate is placed on the table, the steak must face the customer, which creates a real wow moment for them. And that's the magnificent 7 steps to delivering a great steak every time.